What is the key to survival? Is it being the strongest fighter? Or the fastest prey animal in the herd? Is it having the quietest tread while stalking through the underbrush? Being the cleverest? There is but one key to survival: luck. Nothing is assured in the savannah. Even the largest creatures and fiercest beasts are not exempt from the circle of life. Other predators, natural catastrophes, climate, and the ever-changing habitat. These are all factors in the complex dance of life and death that determines the natural balance in the savannah. And leading that dance, keeping the equilibrium right at the top of the food chain, are the kings of the jungle and the savannah, the African wildcats. The vast plains of Eastern Africa, full of life and exotic diversity. Some of the most incredible members of the big cat's family have been hunting on these plains for thousands of years. Life in the savannah is not easy. The incredibly harsh conditions have made the inhabitants of these lands expert survivalists. But they have also made the big cats very skilled hunters, each in their own unique way. Some of them rely on their size and strength, while some are expert climbers. And again, others are the fastest land animals the modern world has ever seen. These lands are not just the home of our feline hunters, but also of a great number of other animals, some of which cannot be found anywhere else on this planet. All of them have adapted to the ruthless conditions in the savannah, including the danger posed by predator cats. Only a few are safe from direct attacks, if only to a degree owing to their sheer size. Gnu and wildebeests are the most abundant prey animals living in the savannah, and their struggle for survival on this land is tough. Yet they play such a vital role in keeping the balance, sustaining the equilibrium in these lands, affecting so many different species, not just as the main source of nourishment for predators, but also ensuring higher survival rates for the endangered giraffes and zebras. For they are social creatures. Their herds will mingle with other large mammals to ensure greater safety through numbers. And for the inhabitants of the plains, like this wild pig, it is not just about surviving, but also protecting their young. Family is the most important thing one can have out here. When the pride, the herd, or cubs are threatened, the community will respond. A pattern we can observe throughout the animal kingdom. The African buffalo, one of the largest prey animals in the savannah. Its size and sharp, strong horns make it a formidable opponent. And it is fiercely protective of its own. Buffaloes will protect their young, shielding them in the center of the herd formation when predators attack. They'll respond to cries of anguish from herd members and will attempt to help them if they are attacked. They will fight back against lions, even killing them, or chasing and attacking them if they have killed a member of the herd. Prey animals have to be vigilant at all times because they are so vulnerable that neither fight nor flight may be an option if a predator strikes. Especially around watering holes, animals are particularly exposed to a hunter sneaking up on them. But avoiding such situations is a luxury they cannot afford in these grueling temperatures. There's only one strategy for survival: safety in numbers. No predator could take down 40 buffaloes, or would even try. Other animals, however, are not involved in this battle for survival between prey and predator. For this elephant, there is little reason to be scared while enjoying some fresh leaves. African elephants are the largest land animals on Earth and are among the most social and intelligent creatures. A female elephant takes loving care of her calf throughout its early life. Elephants have a matriarchal social structure, with one female typically leading the entire herd. They require a lot of food, so they travel enormous distances in the vast grasslands to get enough food and water. But in between, there's always time for fun and games with their little ones. This baby elephant is a potential target for predators, but surrounded by the adult members of the herd, there is nothing to worry about. The little one is enjoying the company of its parents during the cooler temperatures at sunset. But sometimes, like any children, they get on their parents' nerves. And even while fooling around, they must remain vigilant for lurking danger. But our big cats aren't the only predators in the savannah. In fact, there is another predator that is just as feared as the big cats: hyenas. Both hunters and scavengers, these carnivores have jaws more powerful than any other mammal in relation to their size. Their bite is stronger even than a lion's. They have a reputation as thieves, pestering other predators and stealing their prey. But this hyena has to be careful because yet another scavenger is on the lookout and can swoop down at any time: a vulture. Vultures, like hyenas, are not very picky eaters. They usually eat leftovers from other predators and carcasses. Although they live in groups, they are not very friendly to each other, especially when there is not enough food for all of them. Being a predator might sound like being on the brighter side of life, but it is hard and exhausting work. And this predator has decided that at the hottest point of the day, the wisest course of action is to take a nap. This young cheetah has found the perfect spot in the shade to spend the warmest hours of the day resting. Cheetahs have excellent vision, and their spotted fur is great for camouflage. They have bold black stripes that streak down like tears from the corners of their eyes to their mouths. And they blend in perfectly with the tall, dry grass that grows on the plains. Despite being a big cat, cheetahs can do something no other big cat can. Cheetahs can purr. The hottest hours of the day have passed, and for this cheetah, it is time to take a walk. Cheetahs, like other smaller cats, are easily scared. Even the sudden shadow of a vulture can be scary. Like its other feline brethren, cheetahs have very sensitive ears. Moving them independently while looking around gives them a perfect, continuous grasp of what is going on around them. But finding prey in these vast plains is not easy. So they have to keep wandering, of course, with some pauses in between. A cheetah's eyes can spot prey from almost 5 kilometers away. But even with that incredible vision, there's nothing to see at the moment. So he must keep moving. He stalks through the bushes. They provide cover, but he's getting thirsty and he must risk exposing himself again. Waterholes can be far and few between in this dry climate, and when you find one, it's best to take advantage of it. But even whilst drinking, just as prey animals do, he doesn't let his guard down. For even a cheetah can be vulnerable to sudden attack. On some days, there is just not much prey to be found. So for a cheetah, the hard work doesn't always pay off, and you have to be lucky. Unfortunately, this one will have to try his luck another day. When the moonlight kisses the vast plains of the savannah and all creatures seem to be resting, there are a few predators that take advantage of the veil of night. Unlike cheetahs, leopards prefer to hunt at night and sleep during the day. They are excellent climbers. If possible, they take their naps on branches where they feel safe and are out of sight. It is a particularly stormy day, and darkness is about to descend. Meanwhile, our leopard has climbed from the tree and is looking for an opportunity to hunt. Even so, luck is not on his side. This one seems to be too far. He will have to look elsewhere. The advantage of being a nocturnal predator is that you can remain undetected in the darkness and get close to the prey without being noticed. But our friend doesn't seem to be hungry enough for a stakeout. Leopards have a distinctive pattern on their fur, resembling the shape of a rose. These patterns provide them with excellent camouflage on the ground, as well as on trees where the spots blend in with the leaves. The patterns also help to make its body look smaller to prey, and therefore less of a threat. A young leopard cub. Like its mother, it feels very comfortable on those big branches. But on the ground, hunter's instincts kick in. She might be playing with the feather, but it's also valuable practice. Tonight it's a feather, tomorrow perhaps something more meaty. In the meantime, the mother is on the move. She has noticed something. Apparently not what she was looking for. For big cats, chasing prey can be very time and energy consuming. So they have to choose their victims very carefully. And for a leopard, which prefers to hunt stealthily, a chase is not particularly appealing. Especially for this one, having a cub to watch out for. Meanwhile, though, the young one is enjoying itself with its precious feather. It can be a bit of a challenge to distinguish a male leopard from a female, But with lions, there is no mistaking that glorious golden mane. A male lion, king of the savannah, spending some quality time bonding with his family. But somebody has to do the patrolling to make sure that the pride is safe. Lions are the only big cats that live in groups, useful for hunting larger and more dangerous prey that solitary hunters would have no chance of catching. A pride can have up to 40 members. They prowl territory that can encompass from anywhere between 20 and up to 500 square kilometers. They are the largest among the African cats, reaching up to 2.5 meters in length and weighing up to 250 kilograms. While females are typically the primary hunters of the pride, the role of the male lion is to defend the territory and, of course, also to mate, which is no easy task. The lionesses in a pride are usually all related to each other, consisting of cousins, sisters, mothers, and daughters. Though the leader of the pride is a male, lionesses are the ones responsible for any and all decision-making, with no one leader among them. Meanwhile, the lioness is back with no incidents to report. The cubs can enjoy playing with their father in peace. Lion cubs are raised communally, so the entire pride takes part in playing with and taking care of the young. It takes a village to raise a child and a pride to raise a cub. Every pride member is as protective of their sister's cubs as they are of their own, with the male, of course, being fiercely protective of them all. Time for another patrol. This time, 2 young lions join their mother, leaving the father behind to watch the territory. Male lions are notoriously lazy and known to sleep up to 20 hours a day. And the day is hot, so our feline friend settles down for a nap. Like leopards, cheetahs tend to live and hunt alone. Aside from mothers and their cubs, it is rare to see them traveling as a group. But there is something very special about this particular group of cheetahs. These 5 males have developed a unique relationship with each other, forming the largest coalition between cheetahs ever known. They are called Tano Bora, or the Fast Five. They have been patrolling the Maasai Mara for 5 years. Researchers and photographers from all over the world come here to document and study these unique specimens. Acting as a group protects them from other predators such as lions and hyenas, as well as conferring a great advantage while hunting. Whilst cheetahs have been known to sometimes form groups temporarily based on family affiliation, especially males, none have sustained the length of time that the Tano Bora have. Another thing that makes these 5 cats comparatively unique. Of course, sometimes there are slight quarrels. But overall, the benefits of collective power outweigh the drawbacks. Moving around as a group increases the success rate of their hunting, and it also makes it much easier to defend their territory. The midday heat is gone, and it's time for the hunt to begin. Something catches their attention. Two lonely zebras, abandoned by their herd. For a successful hunt, they have to move together. But when there are multiple options, it gets harder to make a collective decision. The Fast Five have a leader, though, a cheetah the locals have named Olpadan, or Great Shooter in Ma. They decide to follow. All members have to move in coordination with one another, and they have to focus on the same prey. That's why a single deserted animal is the perfect choice, but two might be a bit of a challenge. Because of their low stamina, cheetahs have to hunt strategically and plan carefully. Normally, cheetahs don't hunt such large prey, but just as well, cheetahs don't normally hunt in groups. The sun is about to go down, and our cheetahs decide to call it a day. It is time to get some rest again. Checking the territory one last time, everything seems to be in order, and the brothers are safe for another day. A wild boar attracts the attention of one of them. But the other four don't seem to care. They will only hunt together, and only when their leader tells them to. And it is getting dark. This male leopard followed the female's urine marks and has finally found her. The timing seems to be just right. She seems compliant. Leopards are not team players, and unlike cheetahs, they do not have a social bone in their up to 90 kilograms heavy body. When her hormone levels are just right, she will mark her territory more often for the males to find her. Once a leopard couple starts the courtship, they can mate for up to several hundred times within just a few days. After successfully mating, they go their separate ways, leaving parenthood to the female alone. Leopards are, after all, solitary animals. Meanwhile, in another part of the savannah, a lioness is at a different stage of being a mother. She is feeding her two cubs in the presence of other members of the family. The pride consists mainly of females, and the bond between lionesses can be very strong. When one goes on a hunt, another lioness typically babysits her cubs. The cubs seem to have filled their bellies and are full of energy. They play, displaying instincts for fighting and hunting that have been passed down to them from lions who roamed these plains thousands of years ago, now filtered over the centuries and honed to perfection, making them the perfect predators. But these cubs play blissfully unaware of it all. Lion cubs are very vulnerable, dependent on their mother, and also the safeguarding of the whole pride for almost 3 years before they reach full maturity. The female lion cubs will remain in the pride when they are fully grown. The males, however, will be run out and remain lone bachelors until they can fight their way into leading a pride of their own. But even so, the decision who the king of the pride will be is left to the lionesses, who will run out a male who they don't wish to have cubs with. To get some rest, the cubs go to their usual safe spot in the company of their mother. The cracks in this massive rock seem to be the perfect hideout. Unlike many prey animals who can walk within minutes of birth, cubs are born helpless, not opening their eyes until they are 2 or 3 weeks old. And even after that, they only are able to see properly a full week later. This leaves them exposed to attacks from birds, snakes, hyenas, and even stray male lions, so their mothers will keep them hidden from sight until they are strong enough to join the pride at about 6 weeks. Sadly, the death rate for lion cubs is very high, reaching almost 80%, which makes it even more important for the pride to protect them with tooth and nail. So while their older siblings play outside in the beautiful sunlight, the younger ones have to remain hidden in the den. Today there will be a particularly challenging hunt for the whole pride. An injured ewe. older cubs have surrounded this large beast and are very slowly trying to get closer. But a cornered animal this large can still be very dangerous. It is injured and desperate. It will not let them get close without a fight. The number of lions around it keep increasing. More and more young lions come to be part of this very important moment of their education. Many of them are facing such a challenge for the very first time. It is time to show what they have practiced and prove their skills. But the creature knows the more time passes, the slimmer its chances of survival are. It lashes out. The young lion jumps away in fear. It is lucky that it wasn't injured more severely. The situation escalates. The adults are trying to keep it under control with great difficulty. The beast is even more aggressive now and is attacking an adult lioness. She manages to keep it at bay this time. The wildebeest has won the battle of survival. The young lions still learned a very valuable lesson and will not underestimate a beast like that ever again. A misty morning in the savannah. It might be a lucky day for our cheetah friend. The early morning hours are good for a hunt, as there are not many other predators around that can steal away its catch. Unless it has cubs, a cheetah will only go hunting once every few days. And they are successful only about 50% of the time. And this one has been hungry for a while. Its excellent vision allows it to see its prey from kilometers away. And its fur pattern helps it to blend in with its surroundings and remain undetected. This cheetah was noticed too soon. But it is too hungry to give up. There are some other gazelles around, but it has to catch its breath first. And this time, its eyes are locked onto a younger one. The cheetah's most legendary skill is most certainly its speed. Its body is smaller than that of other big cats, and it has a long, slender shape designed perfectly to reach incredible speeds. They can reach up to 112 kilometers an hour in just 3 seconds, a remarkable momentum. But they can only hold this sprint for less than a minute before their energy depletes. Ignoring everything else, he starts to run at the gazelle with an unbelievable speed. It has zero chance. The cheetah uses its tail to balance itself and keep up with the smart maneuvers of the agile gazelle. And after what feels like ages, but in truth only lasted a short moment, success. The other gazelles can only watch helplessly, unable to help their herd mate. They learned a valuable lesson today about not straying from the group. And as one life comes to an end, another life is ensured survival for a few more days. While it is carrying its bounty to a safer place to eat, some other cheetahs are after a much larger prey. The Tano Bora. They are moving towards the herd of wildebeests with particular determination. Today, they must hunt, and a baby gazelle is not an option. They need a much bigger bounty to feed them all. A gnu is quite large and can be intimidating for a single cheetah, but with 5 of them, the playing field is more level. They take up their positions quickly. Lock onto the target. And then attack. Beast goes down. Such successful teamwork gets some unwanted attention. But again, their large number helps them keep the intruders away. The hyenas do not dare to approach the coalition. Finally, they can enjoy their meal in peace. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the savannah, there is another hungry predator stalking through the tall grass in the hopes of catching a scent of its next meal. And she is not alone. Her cub is there to watch and learn. The tall grass helps them to remain undetected until they are very close to the prey. A sudden, swift pounce, and it's done. The cub is quite happy, not because it's going to eat, but play. A dead rabbit is a perfect toy for a baby leopard. It has no siblings like the lion cubs, so it must amuse itself in other ways. Though most leopard litters consist of 2 to 4 cubs, this little one is an only child. Whether that's due to circumstance or the less than 50% survival rate of leopard kits, it's impossible to say. It takes a few bites. Now that it has a taste for it, hunger trumps playfulness. And it's eager to eat. But when it comes comes to sharing, it's not eager at all. The mother understands her cub's instinctive behavior and decides to let it play on its own for now. But who knows? Maybe after nightfall, she can hunt again. Another successful catch. Leopard cubs stay with their mother for almost 2 years until they are able to live on their own. During this time, they have to practice hunting whenever they have a chance. Once they are grown, they must survive by themselves in the harsh environment, competing with other predators for space in the ever-shrinking savanna as farms and humans encroach from every side. But for now, this young cub is safe and fed. Chaos in the herd. Hundreds of new, running with fear. There can only be one explanation. A predator must be nearby. One brave member of the herd decides to fight back. A very difficult decision for a wildebeest. The lioness decides to retreat. The dangerous predator was temporarily stopped. But she can't go back to her hungry cubs, empty-pawed. She has to try again. This time, she chooses her victim more carefully, going for a smaller, weaker gnu. She lurks, waiting for an opportunity. A quick attack from behind. And success. She takes the animal down, but the gnu is still resisting, still kicking out. It still hopes to escape. But against such powerful jaws, it hasn't a chance. The lioness patiently waits for her prey to submit. And finally, the beast goes down. She has to catch her breath because her work is not yet over. She still has to carry the heavy carcass back to the pride and back to her eagerly waiting cubs. The proud mother presenting her catch to the little ones who enthusiastically gather round. They are too small to properly tear into the abdomen of the creature, so they stick to more accessible, manageable parts, such as the legs. A successful hunt, a sated, happy pride. Lions have once again proved themselves as worthy of their position at the top of the savannah's food chain. But they are not the most savage killers roaming the lands. The most dangerous predator of them all, humans. Humans are the biggest danger lions face. Not only poachers decimating their population, the main problem stems from habitat loss. 83% of what was territory for lions to roam in has been diminished and divided and turned into agricultural land. The proximity causes many local farmers to shoot lions out of fear they will attack their livestock. A lone cheetah. Standing on high ground, it carefully scans its surroundings. What it can see looks too big to take down alone. It decides to look elsewhere. Cheetahs have to travel large distances each day to search for prey. And although they mostly prefer grasslands, they can live in a wide range of habitats across eastern and southern Africa. But unfortunately, the majestic animal that once could be found throughout Asia and Africa is racing towards extinction. Loss of habitat and the declining numbers of the animals they can eat combine to threaten the future of these cats. Today, most cheetahs live in a territory that is under special conservation. The close-up documentation of their lives allows us to get to know these incredible creatures and spread awareness about the dangers they face. Especially the Tano Bora have been many a wildlife photographer's favorite. This unprecedented example of group behavior among cheetahs shows us how intelligent and sophisticated these cats actually are. Their unique way of living can be seen as yet another evolution of their skills for surviving in their once vast territory. How they hunt, care for one another, how they play with each other, and even how at times they get mad at each other shows us how much similarity there is between us and these marvelous creatures. Unfortunately, lions and cheetahs are not alone in facing the danger of extinction. The leopard is also considered a vulnerable species, and the biggest threat is human activity. In the last 2 decades alone, leopards have lost more than 30% of their habitat. In addition to that, recent hunting of prey animals by humans has led to a collapse in their populations across the African savannah. Beyond that, the bitter truth about the leopards is that it is not just loss of habitat or the decrease in the number of prey that is leading to their demise. It is trophy hunting. For a very long time, these majestic cats have been hunted for their soft and glamorous fur, which is regarded as a luxury item in many places around the world. And the fact that such an incredible creature is falling victim to the greed of human beings is truly heartbreaking. Fortunately, measures are being taken to protect them, such as making hunting illegal, holding their habitat under conservation, and working with local communities. But only time will tell if leopards will be able to survive, or if these stumbles will cause the mighty warrior to fall. Once again, luck has as much of a hand in the game as the resilience of the cat itself. In the savannah, the struggle for survival is not just between the animals. Eastern Africa is also home to one of the oldest human populations, the Maasai. For many generations, Maasai people learned how to share their habitat with the dangerous predators. Their traditions express a strong respect for nature and coexistence with the world around them. Up until recently, young men were required to kill a lion to earn the rank of a warrior. But just like the other animal inhabitants of Masai Mara, they too have adapted to changes in their environment and no longer hunt the endangered lions. And today, with the threat many animals are facing in the savannah, the Maasai people are needed as the protectors of the realm, now more than ever before. Survival. The most important thing for all beings, whether predator, prey, or for us humans. But it is not the only thing that matters. Survival is not enough. There are more things to life than just staving off death. Like enjoying the sun's warmth on one's face. Having fun. And maybe the one thing that is just as important as living itself: family. The reason to keep going, to hunt and fail and try again the next day. It is the one thing not reliant on luck, but the choices we make. We have seen how important it is to protect these fragile populations, and that they need our help more than ever before. Not just the cats, but all inhabitants of the savannah. Because every animal in these vast plains is a crucial part of this incredible ecosystem, and unfortunately, they are not able to protect themselves and their future generations without our help. And if we don't act soon, we might lose these miracles of nature once and for all. Humans like to forget, but we are also part of the complex dance of nature's choreography, and we must play our part when it comes to preserving nature's balance, for us, for them, and all the generations yet to come.